Okay, so this is my webcam post for week 10. We've read 4 plays now: The Octoroon, Margaret Fleming, Trifles, and now Long Day's Journey into Night. How has the American play metamorphosed over these intervening decades? Discuss subject matter, themes, and staging. So in The Octoroon, slavery was still being discussed, and the conflicts in the story were reflective of that. Aside from this, the role of women in social classes was prevalent. Men were literally bidding for Zoe at an auction, and aside from her, other characters would not stop talking about George getting with Dora because she is wealthy and could save them from losing everything. So from losing their home and everything, they wanted George to marry her simply for that reason. There are both themes of racial inferiority and females having monetary worth, where the Octoroon was about racial and gender inequality. Margaret Fleming displayed gender roles and the inequality in that. Her husband was okay to cheat, and his mistakes can be made up for or redeemed if he tried enough to make it up to her. So he was talking about how if he tried hard enough, his mistakes could be overlooked or forgiven, basically. But if she were to do the same, it would be much harder for her to redeem herself. It would always be used against her if she messed up in any way. For example, the woman who had his child, she ended up dead she has his child and then she dies. And then in Trifles, instead of discussing the inferiority of women it discusses the opposite. You have these men who are truly well respected in the community. They spend their time going over and over the crime scene, trying to understand what happened, while the women sit there in the room just having a conversation. They don't have to get up and walk over a crime scene to understand what happened. They don't waste a lot of time there. And in the same time that the men are spending looking over the crime scene, it only took the women, the same time, but they figured out what happened the day before. Long Day's Journey into Night drifts away from this whole male and female imbalance and sort of elevates both genders to the same level. Here they are suffering as a family, and they all have to move forward together, or at least they're trying. Whereas in our previous stories, there's usually one person or a group of people trying to fix the problem. So in the other stories before that, for example, in The Octoroon, the one that Zoe's mother or whatever, her adoptive mother, I guess, she is trying her best to fix the situation. She's trying to keep her family together. There are other men that are trying to fix it, but not everyone is on the same boat. Whereas in this play, everyone is sort of trying to hold together. The sons are trying to make sure that the mom is doing okay, and the father is trying to keep his temper low so everyone can be happy, and the mother is also trying her best. But yeah, that's my discussion, my webcam.